Tonight's Hallmark Hall of Fame continues with The Runaway, starring Dean Cain.
Color church talked about arming himself.
Oh, great.
It's not just Peg Leg that's scared of. They think the whites are going to blame all the colors for Harvey's murder.
Ben Blair has...
Conclusion of this evening's Hallmark Hall of Fame presentation.
Do you think you can fix it?
Hey, fixed your lawnmower, didn't I?
Yeah, right. Hey, Pete, you ever, talk to your wife?
Yeah, every day. What kind of question is that?
No, I mean, do you ever,
Rent your place?
Oh, right.
This will do me no good.
Yeah. I mean, you ever say that stuff to her, like,
What stuff?
Well, like,
Oh, you mean like, when
yeah.
No. No, I don't.
Yeah, I didn't think so. But you still feel that, right, for her?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, she doesn't expect me to say it, that's all.
No.
And she expects me to say I love the Bears, or I love ham,
Yeah,
but
right, yeah, right.
that's about it. Why, you say that stuff to your wife?
Oh. No, I mean, she's like your wife. She doesn't expect it.
Well, there you go.
Right. But I've been thinking, though, I'm gonna give her something. Something that tells her how I feel about her. Something really great,
What, you mean like Bears tickets? That'd be great. Be a nice day for the two of you.
Every year on Christmas Eve, just before midnight, my dad and I take a walk. Just me and him. I can see him now, hear the crunch of his boots on the snow. Our breath would hang in the air as we trudge past the barn. My cheeks would get so red they'd start to hurt. Toes would be numb in my boots, but I'd never complain. Just try as best I could to follow in my dad's footsteps, never quite making it. Past Carter's Creek, and up that little rise that ran to the edge of the pine forest. We'd keep on in the moonlight till we made the clearing at the top of the hill. You could see the whole valley spread out below. And there we'd stand, the two of us, and wait for Christmas. This will be the first year I won't be able to come home and take that walk with my dad. But at least a part of me will be there. Wish we could be together for Christmas. No need to count the many miles that separate us now, because the memories we share will keep us close somehow. Merry Christmas. Love, Sarah.
Merry Christmas.
Now, the conclusion of The Runaway on the Hallmark Hall of Fame.
No protection when the crime is committed by a white person over a colored person.
Hey, what you walking along here for? Yeah, this is the white side of the street. You don't belong here no more.
I walk where I like.
Hold it.
Let go!
You guys got something you want to say to us? We walk where we like. Come on, yo. Who cares about that?
We hope you've enjoyed tonight's Hallmark Hall of Fame presentation. Join us again on February 4th for The Flamingo Rising, starring William Hurt, Elizabeth McGovern, and Brian Benben. Sunday, February 4th on CBS. You can also enjoy many Hallmark Hall of Fame movies on video. Your favorite stars, your favorite stories, great holiday gifts. Available at your Hallmark Gold Crown store, leading video retailer, or online at hallmark.com. For more information, visit us at hallmark.com or call 1-800-HALLMARK. Now we gratefully acknowledge the talented people who made tonight's program possible. Thank you for joining us for tonight's Hallmark Hall of Fame. Hallmark, when you care enough to send the very best.
On a very merry Monday, the King of Queens welcomes Lou Ferrigno for Christmas.
You want to paint each other green?
Then, nobody celebrates the holidays like Ray's family.
Put your glasses on, you're blind.
And what would be the upside of seeing you more clearly?
And when Becker hits the mall, meet the Grouch who stole Christmas.
I'm in hell.
It's all new holiday fun, CBS Monday.
The boys are back in town. Jack Lemmon.
Oscar!
Walter Matthau. Christine Baranski. The Odd Couple 2. CBS Wednesday. Congratulations to Family Law and...
Captain, atmospheric conditions appear to be suboptimal.
Mister, that's not good enough. Come on.
Micron air filtration engaged.
Sir, unknown contact dead ahead. Could they be tracking us?
Not likely. We're a low-emission vehicle. Everyone, remain calm. What is it you want from us?
$1.25. Thanks. See you later.
Oh, yes. We will meet again.
It's easy to get carried away. The Accord from Honda.
For Eckerd to really be your holiday light headquarters, well, we talked to the experts.
The coolest color of lights is blue, green. I like the lights that blink.
Find twinkling, multicolor, icicle lights, and more at extra low prices at Eckerd.
The blinking color lights look like stars. On and off, on and off, on and off.
Like all this week, Eckerd has 300-count white and blue icicle lights, just $5.99.
You put lights on the house so Santa could find us.
Eckerd, it's a wonderful light store.
The best gifts come from Riches, and during our store-wide great gift sale, you'll find the best prices, too, plus bonus coupons for extra savings. Right now at Riches.
Introducing the Suncom Welcome Home Plan with no long-distance or roaming charges whenever you see Suncom and AT&T on your phone. We're Suncom, and we get it.
It's Arby's Holiday 5 for $5 deal. 5 delicious regular roast beef sandwiches for just $5. We'll even gift wrap them. But hurry, Arby's holiday offer ends soon.
Another historic day for the U.S. Supreme Court, a preview at 11.
News, weather, and sports from where you live. Now, News Channel 7 at 11.
Coming up on News Channel 7, hundreds of people are camping out for seats to what could be the final showdown in the battle for the White House. We'll have that story for you in just a little bit. Good evening, I'm Allison Lee, in for Diana Watson. Authorities in the city of Lawrence and State Law Enforcement Division investigators are investigating what appears to be the brutal beating death of an elderly man. It happened in the retirement community of Hanson Circle near Church Street and Anderson Drive. Authorities say social workers went to the home shortly after 4:30 today. They say social workers have been trying to contact the man.
There some keys that were stuck in the door, and so they went in, and when they did, they saw some blood and stuff on the floor, so they backed out at that time, saw the gentleman lying on the bed, notified EMS. they came.
We'll have more on this story for you tomorrow. The name of the victim has not yet been released. A police standoff involving a man who held his own 2 children hostage ended peacefully in Clinton today. The man gave himself up after holding police at bay for 9 hours. The standoff began about 5 this morning on Shan Street near Clinton High School. Police say the man got angry with his girlfriend over a pack of cigarettes, then beat her and threatened her with a rifle. She managed to run next door where her neighbor called 911. Police say the man was drinking heavily and had his 2 children from 2 previous marriages inside the house. 8 hours after the ordeal began, the man released his 2 children unharmed. Then he surrendered peacefully an hour later. The man's girlfriend was treated and released from the hospital, but she's shaken.
I'm real sore and bruised. My heart's broken. I never thought he'd do nothing like that to me. I thought he loved me. He told me he loved me. We was planning on getting married. I love him with all my heart, but I can't live with a man like that.
Police have taken 39-year-old Brian Taylor into custody. He's charged with criminal domestic violence of a high and aggravated nature. He's in the Lawrence County Jail on $10,000 bond. An upstate man accused of killing a state trooper is out of the hospital and behind bars tonight. Doctors released John Richard Wood from Greenville Memorial Hospital shortly after 3 o'clock today. He's now in the Greenville County Detention Center. Wood faces numerous charges, including killing 28-year-old Trooper Eric Nicholson during a routine traffic stop last Wednesday. Trooper Nicholson was buried yesterday. A grease fire forced a popular upstate restaurant to close its doors. It happened last night around 10:30 at Good O's. That's in the Anderson community of Broadway. Firefighters say a grease fire in the kitchen quickly spread to the ceiling. Officials say the roof suffered extensive damage. There's no word yet on when or if that restaurant will reopen. When you head out to work tomorrow morning, you might want to take an umbrella with you. Jim Kirkpatrick joins us now for First Weather.
Yeah, already we are stuck in the clouds out there this evening, and the moisture probably won't see it first thing tomorrow, but by tomorrow evening and into Tuesday, the moisture will be moving back in. Pretty much mostly cloudy tonight and through the day tomorrow. The moisture we saw a little bit move through earlier today in the high elevations did fall as some freezing rain, more so up into Virginia than in central North Carolina at least, and just a trace of rain for the rest of us. All that is now off to the east, so we're going to be pretty much dry through tomorrow night, but there is going to be some chance of rain for most of the week ahead, and we're going to tell you about that in the extended forecast. But for tonight, cloudy out there, some patchy fog, temperatures generally in the mid to upper 30s across the upstate. In the mountains, anywhere from about 31 to 35 degrees. The complete Doppler 7 Storm Team Futurecast in a few minutes. Allison.
All right, thank you, Jim. In less than 12 hours, lawyers for Vice President Al Gore and Governor George W. Bush face off before justices of the United States Supreme Court. Could be the final showdown to determine the 43rd President of the United States. If the justices rule in favor of Bush, it's all over for Gore. No one expects the justices to rule tomorrow, however. But as Terry Okita reports, there are plenty of people camping out to see what could be the final battle for the White House.
Outside the Supreme Court building, more than 100 avid court watchers are braving bone-chilling temperatures, pitching tents, and unfurling sleeping bags, hoping for a front row seat for Monday morning's historic showdown.
It's very exciting to actually be there in a moment when something so decisive in history is taking place.
Ho, ho, ho! Gore's gotta go! Earlier in the day, supporters of both candidates loudly voiced opinions on the steps of the court. 8 more years! Attorneys for both Al Gore and George W. Bush have filed briefs in preparation for oral arguments before the 9 U.S. Supreme Court justices. Bush's lawyers are asking the court to reverse the Florida High Court's decision that ordered a manual recount of thousands of ballots. The Bush team says the Florida judges ruled without regard for uniformity, objectivity, or finality.
I think the issue really is whether or not we are in the process of counting legal votes, whether the counting process is legal, whether the rules have been changed after the game has been played.
But Gore's lawyers say the Florida judges did act correctly and that voters, not the courts, should decide this election. Still, they know this may be their last shot.
If the Florida Supreme Court's opinion is reversed and the United States Supreme Court says no more votes are going to be counted, then that's the end of it.
The candidates kept a low profile for most of the day. Al Gore making a quick appearance on his way to church, and George Bush returning to the governor's mansion in Austin. The justices are expected to make a quick decision as they keep in mind Tuesday's deadline for choosing electors. And after a month of ups and downs, neither the Bush nor the Gore team is taking any guesses tonight as to how the justices will rule. Terry Okita, CBS News, Washington.
7 of the 9 justices on the United States Supreme Court were nominated by Republican presidents, specifically Nixon, Ford, Reagan, and Bush. They are considered by many to be Federalists who are strong believers in states' rights. People in Al Gore's home state of Tennessee will be paying close attention to the U.S. Supreme Court tomorrow. Tennessee went for Bush on election night. Despite that fact, people in Gore's hometown of Carthage are solidly behind their native son. Gore did win his home county by a large margin.
Or he wins or loses, he's still the man, as far as I'm concerned. I'm with him till the end. If he goes down, I go with him.
I think he ought to hang in there. Al Gore is from Smith County. He's a hometown boy. If you knew him personally, like most people around here do, you'd vote for the man. To know him, he's a good person, and he'd make us a fine president.
If Gore had won his home state of Tennessee, he would not need Florida's 25 electoral votes in order to become president. Just ahead on News Channel 7, it's happened again. Authorities say a case of road rage led to a deadly shooting. And folks battle it out with police and other groups for something that many of us take for granted. The story is just ahead on News Channel 7.
News Channel 7. Honored to be named Best Newscast in South Carolina by the Associated Press. Closed captioning of News Channel 7 is brought to you by Recreation USA, where America shops for RVs and boats.
Ford trucks have always played a part through my whole life. I've driven from F-100 to 700s, but everything we have is Ford.
Right now, lease the 2001 F-150 for just $299 a month. America's best-selling truck. That's $299 a month. Even get $1,500 cash back on all 2000 F-150 Rangers.
I'd rather buy a Ford than have another truck given. I'd rather buy a
It's back.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Applebee's You Pick 2. Get any 2 of 4 American favorites on one big plate. Choose from sizzling Cajun sirloin, succulent garlic crusted shrimp, barbecue chicken, or riblets with a tangy sauce too good for any napkin. Right now, you pick 2. For a taste as American as Applebee's. For a tasteful gift, pick Applebee's gift certificates.
News Channel 7 at 11. With Diana Watson, Fred Cunningham with sports, and Jim Kirkpatrick with the Doppler 7 Storm Team.
A shooting that apparently stemmed from a case of road rage has left 1 person dead and 4 others injured. It happened in Mesa, Arizona. Authorities say an argument broke out between 2 carloads of young people. They say as the cars reached the Mesa city limits, the occupants continued to holler at each other out of the windows. They say when the cars came to a stop, shots were fired. A rally to support the rights of women in Pakistan turned violent today. That story tops our worldview tonight. Hundreds of women and men fought a running battle with the police. Authorities used tear gas and attacked rock-throwing protesters with steel-tipped canes. Officials say violence erupted after supporters of women's rights ran into a hardline religious group that opposed women's rights. On the eve of an United Nations fact-finding mission, the violence between Israeli and Palestinians continues. Near Jerusalem, Israeli soldiers shot and killed a Palestinian man. They say the man and his friend were attempting to plant a bomb near the roadside of a Jewish settlement. In Hebron, settlers fought with Palestinians. The army intervened to separate the 2 sides. They say tempers flared after a Jewish settler shot a 13-year-old Palestinian boy. Hundreds of people in Paris put aside their fears over mad cow disease to attend a free beef barbecue. Participants say the cows were fed only cereal and grass and have no trace of mad cow disease. They put on the barbecue show to show the public that beef was not poisonous and was safe to eat. The European beef industry has been struggling to turn itself around since the outbreak of mad cow disease several years ago. Some North Carolinians are on a trip of a lifetime this weekend. Farm representatives from the state left for Cuba today. They're hoping to sell tobacco, sweet potatoes, and other farm products to the communist nation. The trip comes just months after the U.S. lifted a ban preventing United States citizens from selling goods to Cuba. Coming up in sports, the Carolina Panthers wave goodbye to their hopes for a playoff spot. Fred Cunningham has the cold reality from chilly Kansas City. And a former Gamecock comes off the bench to ruin another day for the Washington Redskins. The full story from the NFL is just ahead. Jim?
Well, the clouds are already here. When will we see some rain? The Futurecast in just a moment. As News Channel 7 at 11 continues.
2000 isn't over yet, but your chance to get a spectacular deal on the smart new 2000 Ford Focus or sporty 2000 Mustang will be soon. For a limited time, take low 0% down financing on these two Ford favorites, or get 2,000 cash back on Mustang or 500 cash back on Focus. But hurry, incredible deals like zero non-financing or cash back won't be around much longer. You've got to act now. See your Carolina Ford dealer today.
Larry, I got you something a little different this year, a Weber grill. Marcia, I got you a Laura Ashley rug. Mike, here's a Cuisinart wide slot toaster.
But Dad, I already have one of those.
Okay, it's a Troy-built lawn tractor then.
Come into Lowe's and pick up a gift card for everyone on your holiday list. It's the gift that's anything they want it to be. Lowe's, great gifts, great prices.
Something big was going down at Pop Secret.
Vector 4-1.
We were making a new microwave popcorn with extra butter.
We're on it.
Which meant we'd need extra butter.
We're go for butter.
No. Huh? Only the best butter would do. Land O'Lakes.
Go, go, go!
Whoops. Sorry, miss. Mission accomplished. Introducing Pop Secret Extra Butter. Perfect popcorn is our passion.
Latitude, Longitude, a new adventure in fragrance from Nautica. This gift set, a $75 value, now yours for $58 at Belk.
Dave says Edward paid in bogus gold coins.
He told me it was worth a lot of money, Your Honor.
The case of all that glitters is not gold.
You hustled, he hustled, and you both got out hustled.
Next People's Court. Monday at 9 on News Channel 7.
This place has a lot of charm. It's so cozy. Just perfect for a
Well, I know. Instead of you running to the bank.
What's the bank?
What if the bank came running to you?
That much.
So, what do you think?
We're thinking...
Bigger.
Yeah.
Wachovia. Let's get started.
News Channel 7 weather is brought to you by Hardee's.
Well, we definitely could use some rain. We're behind for the year, aren't we?
Yeah, still way behind, and for the last 2 years, it's even worse. We're about 15 inches behind in the upstate right now for this year, and in the mountains, 12 inches below normal. Looks like we could see some this week. Let's go outside, check out the Carolina Southern Bank live cam network from Greenville with clouds overhead, but no moisture. We did see just a trace of rain across much of the area today. Spartanburg, same situation. The clouds are out there, but not much in the way of moisture. Watch out tonight for a little bit of fog, which may form. It'll be kind of patchy across the upstate, a little bit thicker across the mountain areas. Currently out there, most of us are still in the 40s. In fact, 44 in Spartanburg. 62% relative humidity. The winds are calm. 30-20, weak high pressure out there. 43 in Greenville. 65% humidity. The winds are calm there. In Anderson, it's 43 degrees. 86% humidity. Asheville, maxed out humidity. So watch out for that dense fog beginning to form now. 35 degrees. And temperatures will only drop very slowly now that you've already reached your saturation point. Temperatures today, highs about 8 degrees below where they would normally be for this time of year, about 4 degrees cooler than we were yesterday. 44 Asheville, Hendersonville, 46 Spartanburg, 45 in Greenville, 46 in Anderson. Most areas in the upstate above freezing last night, and in fact even the mountains or at the airport. Now you go a little further north and they did see a little bit of freezing rain across the northern mountains as that moisture moved through, but it kind of broke up as it moved across our area. Clouds across really most of the country. They're seeing snow showers in the plain states and the northeast, and most of Florida looking pretty good, at least the central part. Southern part of Florida getting pounded by heavy rains today, almost a summer type system. It was in the 80s in Miami, and they saw almost 5 inches of rain there over the last 24 hours. A lot of snow falling in the nation's midsection, snow showers across the northeast with the mixture of precipitation along the coastal section. In fact, that low pressure has moved up the coast, and that's what's causing that moisture there that moved to our south last night. Bitter cold air in the northern plain states. Actual temperatures in Minnesota today, 20 to 30 degrees below zero, with wind chill indexes as cold as 65 degrees below zero. And that cold air is going to make it all the way down into Texas, but it will not make it into the deep south. Clouds certainly out there at this point, pretty thick clouds, and it's going to be mostly cloudy on through the day tomorrow. But the moisture is pretty much going to hold off until tomorrow evening. That's going to be our best chance of seeing some rain. Go back to last, or really this morning, and the moisture moving on through. And again, there's just some sprinkles around our area, really just a trace for most of us. High elevations did see some freezing rain. More so, the further north you go on into Virginia, they saw some freezing rain, a little more widespread there in the mountain areas. That low pressure pulling on up into the northeast. This frontal system will move through tomorrow night, and that's going to be our best chance of rain, at least in the short term. So most of tomorrow is going to be relatively dry by tomorrow evening. Look for some showers moving through the area, and that'll end by fairly early Tuesday morning, and then it kind of dries out Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Wednesday night into Thursday, another chance of some moisture moving through. Wednesday will probably be our coolest day of the week, and so the mountains could see a mixed bag of precipitation as we get into Wednesday night. Cloudy, some patchy fog out there in the upstate. Temperatures relatively mild, upper 30s to around 40. For the mountain areas, cloudy with some fog out there. Temperatures anywhere from about 31 to 35 degrees. Your 5-day forecast looks like this. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, relatively dry for most of the day. Then a chance of showers by tomorrow evening and into Tuesday morning. 53 tomorrow, 56 on Tuesday. Wednesday, another chance of rain really late Wednesday into Thursday. 39 will be the coolest day of the week on Wednesday, then closer to 50 by Thursday and Friday. For the mountains tomorrow, about 49 degrees. Chance of showers tomorrow night and into Tuesday morning. And then another batch of something may move through Wednesday night and Thursday for the mountain areas. Could fall as some freezing rain or a mix on Wednesday night. We'll keep you posted on that.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Jim. Sports is next. The Carolina Panthers can start thinking about next season after coming up short against the Chiefs. Fred has all of the NFL action. And they're not the real McCoy, so why are they dressed up like Santa Claus? The answer is just ahead on the news.
The thrill is back with a vengeance. Toyotathon 01. The blockbuster event returns with great year-end values on Toyota's best, like Corolla. Now extended through January 2nd. Toyota will make your first 3 payments or give you $1,000 towards your down payment when you buy or lease any new Corolla. Toyotathon 01. It's back at your Toyota dealer now.
Right now at Belk, you'll find great gifts throughout the store. And we'll gift wrap them free. Just for her, watches from Fossil, Anne Klein 2, Kenneth Cole, and others. Elegant handbags and small leather goods by Anye, Coach, and 9 West. 50% off all sterling silver jewelry by Madison Studio. Plus 40% off all cold weather accessories. Shop today at Belk, your gift-giving store.
Everything we do at Belk is all for you. Know where I'm going and I know what to do. Ooh, I got a new attitude.
Introducing something totally new from Verizon Wireless. It's called New Every 2. We'll give you a new digital phone up to $100 value every 2 years for free when you sign up for a 2-year agreement. So you'll always have the latest in wireless technology. It's never been easier to keep up with what's new. New Every 2, only from Verizon Wireless. Join in.
Ford trucks have always played a part through my whole life. I've driven from F100 to 700s, but everything we have is Ford.
Right now, lease the 2001 F-150 for just $299 a month. America's best-selling truck. That's $299 a month. Even get $1,500 cash back on all 2000 F-150s and Rangers.
I'd rather buy a Ford than have another truck given to me. I get what I pay for.
The best trucks are built Ford tough. It's truck season. See your Carolina Ford dealer.
Another change in the nation's capital. I understand this one didn't go quite as well.
You know, in the nation's capital, this is a much bigger deal than anything going on in Florida, because with the Redskins fired Norv Turner, their coach, and you spend $100 million like the owner Dan Snyder has, you don't expect days like this. Here is the new coach of the Redskins, Terry Robisky, who gets a 3-game audition against Dallas today. Troy Aikman getting knocked silly by LeVar Arrington. Aikman out, his 4th concussion in 2 years. Anthony Wright, the former Gamecock, comes in. Here he airs it out to James McKnight for big yardage, beating Deion Sanders deep. Anthony on the day, 3 for 5 for 73 yards. That's 2 more passes than he'd thrown in his entire career. The Cowboys riding their running game. Emmitt Smith, 23 carries, 150 yards, and running a bit of a conservative attack. The Cowboys win big, 32-13, dropping the Redskins to 500, and their playoff hopes are on life support. Well, George Seifert called this one, quote, a knockout punch. The best the Panthers can hope for now is another break-even season after falling at Kansas City. It was a case of Carolina's hottest player coming up short in the cold of KC. But Carolina's defense picked up where they left off a week ago against the Rams. Doug Evans picking off Elvis Gerback in the end zone as the Panthers have 4 takeaways on the day. 7-3 Carolina third quarter. Steve Berline to Chris Mangum, the tight end, 15 yards to make it 14-3, and we're thinking playoffs, 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 maybe. Fourth quarter, though, Gerback back the pass. You pay Reggie White to make plays like this. He does not make the sack. And when Tony Gonzalez catches that deflected football, it's a ball game again. In fact, KC goes up 15-14. Joe Nedney has made 19 field goals in a row, but in the cold, in the wind, and from 48 yards out, he comes up short, as to the Panthers, 15-14, just a couple of plays away.
And, you know, they get that sack, and they kick a field goal possibly, you know. But, you know, it's over.
We were bending but not breaking, but through all of that, they were, you know, gaining valuable yardage, obviously, and we didn't make the plays at the end of the game when we had to, basically.
Another narrow defeat. The Panthers back home for their season finale at home against San Diego. The Rams are happy campers again in the Dome against the Vikings. Marshall Faulk had 4 touchdown runs on the day, all of them coming from inside the 5-yard line. He rushed for 135 yards as St. Louis scored on their first 7 possessions, beating the Vikings 40-29, snapping a 3-game losing streak. They remain tied with New Orleans for first place in the NFC West. The Gamecocks pick up a football recruiting commitment tonight. Wide receiver Levon Thomas of College Park, Georgia, says he'll sign with USC, although in further evidence of how recruiting is always subject to change, Thomas plans to visit Georgia Tech and Alabama. Is this the man for North Carolina? CBS is reporting that Saints linebacker coach John Bunning has been offered the head coaching job at North Carolina. The school's acting a little bit low-key about the hire. They've been jilted at the altar by Roy Williams last summer, and UNC is hoping to avoid another runaway bride coaching scenario, although Bunning's wife tonight says he has indeed taken the job. He could be on sometime this week. Connecticut and Creighton playing for the NCAA soccer title today at Erickson Stadium. Chris Giambi scoring the game's first goal at the 16-minute mark for the Huskies, and then doing the anti-Brandy Chastain play there. UConn, who eliminated Clemson 2 weeks ago, wins the national championship 2-0 over the Blue Jays, who were shut out for the first time this season. For the Huskies, it's their 2nd national championship. Tiger Woods and David Duval forming a golf 2-man dream team at the World Championships this week, and Tiger at number 11 for birdie, and that combination is at 33 under par. Woods and Duval combined for a 4 under par 68 to complete their 3-stroke victory. Not bad going up against those two guys. Would be a pretty stiff assignment, as he knocks it pretty stiff right there. Woods and Duval, your winner. Back with more in a moment.
They're not.
If you buy one of those huge new SUVs, you might want to plan on a new garage, too. But with Dodge Durango's best-in-class available Magnum V8 power, plenty of room inside, and just right size outside, you don't have to rearrange your life just to fit an SUV into it. Durango. Different. And just right. Now, incentives can save you up to $4,500 on...
Beautiful from Estee Lauder. Now a
trio of beautiful favorites. This luxurious parfum spray bath and body set, yours for just $60. Available only at Dillard's.
College basketball tonight, Florida hosting Florida A&M. The Gators get off to a quick start. Udonis Haslem with a nice entry pass gets the bucket right there. Florida A&M coach Mickey Clayton saying about this game, quote, "We were instructed to play it." And his team gets ripped tonight in Gainesville. Haslem had 19 points as Florida wins 125-50. It's the biggest blowout in Gator basketball history. It's going to be a rather slow week when it comes to basketball around here. A little thing called finals.
Yeah, that's
Everybody
true.
doing a little bit of studying this week. We won't see much hoop action until next week.
And that's slightly more important, so we can wait a week.
I think it is, yeah.
All right, thanks, Fred. Finally tonight, dozens of Santa Claus wannabes showed up in Maine this weekend for a free day of skiing and to help a good cause. The Sunday River Ski Resort invited
It's time to get ready for a rush of adrenaline only Pontiac can deliver. It's time to get your $500 holiday bonus for $1,250 total cash back on any 2001 Grand Am. So get to your Pontiac dealer and light up the season.
We got to target a new online customer. Consumers who never change their minds and choose gifts with 100% accuracy.
So there's no returns.
Bingo. I call them laser beamers.
And exactly how many of these laser beamers have you found?
4. But that's just in the U.S.
E-returns are inevitable. Now UPS has automated the process, making it quicker and easier, so we can help change merchandise as fast as people change their minds. UPS, moving at the speed of business.
So all you need to do is hook up your Model A43 desktops to a bunch of 148-2 MIPS-C1 Ethernet connectors. Then you add your 44 GIP stop-to-fiber USB SCSI cables to your eServer's application engine architecture on the LAN Opta branch. You're supporting the Delta, and naturally the whole thing's uplinked to the multi-task.
Fortunately, 3Com's new line of networking products are engineered to be understandable, so you'll quickly figure out how to get the most out of the internet.
You still with me? Good. Because now it gets complicated. You take your Gigaline Hexport Mega switches.
3Com. Simple sets you free.
Truck season at your Ford dealer.
It's truck season. You need to be in a Ford. Ford trucks are the toughest trucks built.
Right now, lease the 2001 F-150 for just $299 a month. America's best-selling truck. That's $299 a month. Even get $1,500 cash back on all 2000 F-150s during truck season.
I'd rather buy a Ford than have another truck given to me. I get what I pay for.
The best trucks are built Ford tough. It's truck season. See your Carolina Ford dealer.
News 13 WLOS, proud to call Western North Carolina home.
Good evening, everyone. News 13 Chief Meteorologist Gary Stevenson with you. On a cold night across the Carolinas and the potential right now for a winter storm to move in tonight and last into Sunday through our area. As a matter of fact, most of the News 13 viewing area under a winter storm warning for tonight into the day on Sunday. The exceptions, the extreme southern sections of northeastern Georgia and upstate South Carolina. What does this mean? Well, overnight tonight we could pick up anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow from an upper level low pressure center dropping in from Kentucky and Tennessee. And then a coastal low is forecast to develop off the North Carolina coast during the overnight hours into the day on Sunday. That will pull moisture back into western North Carolina into air that is below freezing through all levels of the atmosphere. So that means it will fall in the form of snow, and there is a potential for another 2 to 5 inches of snow falling as this system develops and works its way off the coast of North Carolina. As a matter of fact, the interesting scenario with this storm system is the heaviest snow could actually occur from the foothills to the central portions of North Carolina. It all depends depends on the development of that low-pressure center off the North Carolina coast. So one more time, let me remind you, the National Weather Service has issued a winter storm warning for all counties in western North Carolina, including the foothill counties, into central North Carolina, upstate South Carolina, with the exception of the extreme southern sections of upstate South Carolina, into northeastern Georgia. Light snow is expected to begin developing as we work our way into the evening hours, and the heaviest snow should actually occur during the early morning hours of Sunday toward the noon hour on Sunday. Roadways could get very slick very quickly, so again, if this situation does develop, you want to stay tuned to News 13. We'll be back each hour with the latest on this potential winter weather situation. Stay warm.
Come on, United. Come
on. Football, eh? Reminds me of my days with United. Incredible. We won the cup. Back in 35 it was.
With a smarter search on your MSN homepage, you'll find everything you're looking for faster.
Top of all them.
Usually on the first try.
I scored a hat-trick.
So which one are you doing, Grandad?
I was away when they took this, and I was fighting in Africa. Mosquitoes, malaria.
Dr. Scholl's next stop, the LA Marathon. 26.2 miles.
I'm ready to go. We'll see you at the finish line. We gave a group of runners our Advantage Sport insoles to prove how much they can help their performance.
Go, go, go!
It's the only sport insole